Hello critters, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. Today I wanted to talk about criticism, more specifically when you post art and someone comes into the comment section going, well actually this looks bad or whatever, because like we all deal with that. It happens a lot. Some people are nicer than others, but I want to get into why? Not explaining why, but asking why do people find it necessary, and also just a little bit on how to kind of deal with it and what to get out of these unsolicited critiques, I guess. So I guess into the video we go. Hello everyone. This video might be a little controversial, so please watch to the end before going off in the comments. I promise I will try and be like objective about the topic, but I guess I'm going to give my opinion off the bat on it all. So unsolicited art critiques I think are kind of just like annoying. Oh, and quick disclaimer, because I just watched D'Angelo Wallace's video on this art critic while I was making this script, and like this isn't about actual art critiques with big artists, because people who critique art for a living and actually know what they're talking about is like much different than TikTok commenters saying rude things under a random artist's post. So like I'll define that now. And that sounded a little mean, but what I'm talking about is like it happens to everyone. You finish a piece that you spent a lot of time on, or not. Maybe it's just like a silly little doodle that you threw together in 5 seconds and know it's not a masterpiece or whatever. And you post it only to get a comment going, actually you drew the face wrong, the eyes are too close together. And it's like, wow, thanks. And that's on the more polite side of unsolicited art critiques, honestly. Some people just go, your art style is bad, which of course is just an insult and not a critique. But some people might see that as a critique, but whatever. So again, this might be controversial, because for some reason a lot of people go, well, just accept any critique. If you're posting online, you need to know how to take it. Which, like, yeah, sure, you can't stop people from commenting those things, but also you can still acknowledge how, like, actually annoying a lot of these comments are. I don't know. And not to mention, a lot of people who hold this sentiment are people who go into other people's art to comment these things. And it's like, okay, yeah, we get your opinion matters more than an artist's personal experience and journey, but yeah, you're that important. I'm sounding rude, but let me get into it. I'm not saying you should, like, absolutely disregard any comment giving art advice when it's not asked, but at the same time, there is a line. Like, there's a line when you need to know when to accept the critique and know that it's a valid critique, or just someone trying to put you down, because there are absolutely instances of both. So let's get into all that. So first of all, like, who asked? And sorry, I'm just like, again, this obviously doesn't apply when someone says critiques are welcome or asks for critiques, but when someone posts their silly little art, and it's like, first of all, the viewer has no idea what the intention was with the art. Maybe they drew it like 5 seconds, maybe they're experimenting with the stylization, or maybe they're just drawing it for fun and don't want to be having people speculate on which parts of their art are bad, because honestly, one, it's just kind of rude and you don't know this person, and second of all, to be honest, leaving unsolicited critique on someone's work might make them just become more insecure about their art and thus stunting their art journey, in my opinion. Second of all, like, who is this random person commenting in terms of any authority on how to do art? Like, oh yes, holy and well-informed TikTok user, please bestow upon me your godly wisdom as to why my art sucks and you're better than me because you so obviously know what you're talking about. I'm sorry. This gets into my point of, like, trying to pinpoint exactly why people leave these comments and analyzing this to figure out why they're annoying and why listening to them might just be a waste of time, because I do feel like a lot of people make comments like these to put others down, especially to young artists and people early in their art journey, by trying to, like, flex art knowledge or something upon them and act like they know better, when again they might not know anything about the artist's journey, about their intentions, etc. And this isn't like bashing on people, like, again, I know I sound like really salty, but I it's just a big pet peeve of mine, especially when it comes to younger artists and people early in their art journeys, because it's like it doesn't help, you know? If you're spending time going onto a young artist's posts to tell them their art needs work and then walking away feeling like you just did something with your holy knowledge, then like look in the mirror and kind of check your ego. Like, no offense, I'm sorry I'm coming off as so rude in this video and I really don't mean to, but I feel like a lot of these comments come from a place of self-interest rather than the interest of the artist they're commenting on, even if it's subconscious. Because before you comment an unsolicited critique, really look inward. Are you really commenting because you're personally invested in seeing this artist get better, or is it a knee-jerk reaction to point out a mistake or wanting to seem like you're better than them? I don't know. That's just me, though. Because, of course, there are also people who are kinder about it and think that they're helping, and they sometimes say, like, nice art, but little critique, I think XYZ looks wrong. Which, like, thanks, at least they didn't just show up to act holier than thou and actually give a form of critique, somewhat like how they're done in actual critique circles, based on not just bringing down the artist, but giving a compliment as well. Because that's how you make sure not to make the artist too self-conscious to continue. But also, like, again, you can really just say nice art, say a part you liked about it, and move on. Since this isn't a critique circle and it wasn't asked, And I don't know if it's something that people who haven't been in art school, or in my experience being a creative writing major, and we did a lot of critiques of each other's writing, but like, critiquing is almost kind of a sacred thing when it comes to actual growth and self-discovery and like your own journey between artists. And I think that crossing those boundaries is also something important. Like just knowing the boundaries, I guess, is very important in my opinion. So next part of the video, sorry, the rant is over a little bit. I didn't mean to talk so long about all that, but like getting into how to actually handle these things, because that's what I wanted to talk about in this video, but got a little sidetracked with trying to figure out who asked. I'm sorry. So we obviously can't stop people from leaving these comments, even rude comments again, of course, just saying like, oh, the way you draw XYZ looks bad. And it's like, okay, cool. But there are a lot of people I feel like who say, take any and all critique because it's important. In my opinion, I just think that's not really true. There are certain types of critique to take and not take, in my opinion, and this kind of ties back to my earlier part of the video of trying to ascertain the intention of the person commenting to see if they actually have any of your interests in mind. First of all, the tone of the comment, I guess, is part of it. Again, if it's just like a why does XYZ look bad kind of shit, like, first of all, you can go, what makes them say that? But also, I feel like a lot of the time people saying this are kind of just like very rude stuff, aren't even artists in the first place, no offense. Because I feel like a lot of artists at least know better not to be flat out rude, as they know how shitty that feels. But also, I could be wrong with some comment sections I see that are just a ton of people dogpiling the art style. But listen, I think disregarding these comments mostly is fine. I don't know, like, if a ton of people are commenting, it's definitely up to the artist to be like, okay, I'm going to take into account these rude comments, I guess, because I see this a lot on the posts of like younger artists, people early in their art journey, where people just like dogpile on the shit on them, like that time with who is that person who had like the rendering process thing, and everyone was like give their ass, and it was like, okay. And some people were like trying to be like, oh, I'm just critiquing their art. I just think that their art looks bad because it just objectively looks bad. It's like, okay, it's not helping. It's just making them feel like really crappy about themselves. I don't know. That's just me. Second of all, of course, like take into account your own intentions and experience with your art. If someone comments something about the anatomy and you're working on experimenting and practicing anatomy, it can go either way, really. Like the person might be saying something you're already aware of, or perhaps that you will take into account and that you're practicing. But the only person who truly knows the artist's intentions is the artist, and in that it's important to know yourself, where you are in your art journey, and like knowing when you already have taken this into account. Also, it's up to the artist, really, if they like want to take the advice or not. As I was saying, I don't know if it's like a hot take, but some artists just like have more fun and find enjoyment in art styles that might not be quote-unquote correct or aesthetically pleasing, and that's their prerogative. I feel like a lot of unsolicited critique comes from people who have a knee-jerk reaction to art that's not conventional and take that as it being bad, which like, one, artist subjective, two, again, you don't know if the artist enjoys doing this or not. So in my last video about like not being obligated to make pretty art and drawing what you want, there were some weird comments that I got, and not to be rude, like not calling them weird to be rude or anything, but some people were saying things like, yeah, people can draw what they want as long as it's somewhat correct looking. And I think that comes from a place of kind of just like the art community being conditioned to say that you have to draw good to like have any kind of basic amount of respect. But like, why? Like, this might be radical, but not everyone is making art to try and fit into a cookie cutter style or to look a way that other people will find appealing. Some people just want to draw their OCs a ton and find enjoyment in that without having any intention to try and like become a professional painter. I don't know. And so this ties back to the artist being the one to know themselves best. If they want to get better, if they want the advice, they'll ask for it, and they'll say critiques are welcome. And I think that artists mostly ask people that they trust anyways to be impartial and know to give them critique, because I saw a few comments on my last video also about how friend groups might be biased to say your art is good when it's not, but I actually feel like asking friends for critique is good, especially because they know your art style and art journey better than strangers on the internet and might have the context to better help you on your art journey. But that's just my opinion on that. And I guess it's all just like a matter of like, when critique isn't asked for and is given in the comments of an art unrelated to growing as an artist, it almost always comes off as not in the best interest of the artist and is kind of unhelpful. Especially ones more rude in tone, again, might just scare artists to not want to try anything new, and even post less out of fear of people being rude to them. So overall, it's kind of just like not really a good thing. It doesn't actually help the artist in that regard. Because to be honest, when you're trying something new in general, it's probably not going to look good anyways, and expecting perfection is never good, which of course is a bit of a tangent. But overall, I guess what I'm saying with this video is that unsolicited critiques and art posts is just kind of unhelpful, and you as an artist aren't obligated to take these critiques. And we should really be uplifting each other as artists instead of leaving comments on younger artists and people early in their art journeys, and even anyone's art, giving them advice not asked for. Instead, we should create an environment where artists aren't afraid to ask for critique in the first place. You know, I don't know. I just think that it's more a matter of kind of just knowing yourself, and again, like going onto strangers' posts and leaving unsolicited critiques I think it's more helpful for artists to look inward and talk to people they trust about critiques rather than, again, taking advice from people on the internet who don't know. I don't know. So that's about it for my video. If you liked it, make sure to like and subscribe. Maybe leave a comment. Tell me what you think. If you made it this far, you are now valid to make a comment. Thank you for actually watching the video. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's about it. Let me know what you think. I'll see y'all in the next video. So see you critters, and bye.